So he wasn't like these other artists that are out here doing tens and thousands of mixtapes and dropping the same song and the same flow every week. To motherfucking channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing XXXTentacion's 17 album. I actually reacted to this album when it dropped. I'm basically just going to be going through it and just giving my thoughts and opinions on each and every song, just because it's the 1-year anniversary of this album, and this album means so much to me. When it dropped, it really changed my life. Me personally, I don't like the new generation of rap whatsoever, and when he dropped it, it really showed me a different side of the new generation of rap and what it actually could offer, you know? So like I said, I'm just gonna be going through each and every song. I'm gonna start doing this with albums that really mean a lot to me or had a lot of impact in my life. So I think this is a good place to start. I have coffee down here. I'm going to be drinking coffee when I make this video. And since his passing, he's just this album means even more to me, you know? So let's get into it. The first song on this album, well, it's not really a song, it's called The Explanation. He really sets the tone of what the album is going to be like. He says it's his thoughts in his head. If you don't vibe with that, don't listen to it. And that is 100% true. If you get sad easily or depressed easily, you should not listen to this album whatsoever. That's my kind of vibe. I love sad music. And his voice was just so soothing, so it set up the album to go where it was going in a good way, and it was a good intro. The next song on the album is called Jacqueline Flores. It's one of his biggest hits. This song, it means a lot. It does, because the girl that killed herself, rest in peace, Jacqueline Flores, when he was in jail, and he couldn't do anything about it, you know? He felt very helpless, and that's why this song it means so much. It's not one of my faves from him or even off this album. And I know you guys are probably like, what? That song's so good, but I mean, I'm gonna get into my faves in a minute when I get to them. But that song was really, it was a beautiful song. I love the fact that it was sad, but it was reassuring at the same time. And like I said, it was a helpless feeling that he was going through. I feel that 100%, because when he died, I just felt so helpless. Like, there's nothing I could do, but I don't want to talk about that. So I'm gonna be moving on to the next song. The next song is Depression and Obsession. This song was one of my favorites off the album. I have like 3 main faves off of this album, and this was one of them. I love the fact that he could talk about mental health and really like put a pin in it, you know? He really hit a target with mental health, and he wasn't scared to talk about it. Not many artists talk about mental health, and that's why so many people liked him. It's so relatable. It was just such a sad but beautiful put song, and I love the production of that song. It was amazing. The next song is Everybody Dies in Their Nightmares. I wrote down notes, that's why I'm looking down. It's a sad song. It's a sad song, but it's really, that's his vibe, you know? Sad and raw and soulful. That's what that song was. I love that song. I don't know. There's nothing really more I can say, because this album was so perfect. So this video is just going to be me praising every song on this album, but I do have points on each and every other song. But like I said, it's a sad song, but it's so relatable. If you're an emotional kind of person, or if you not even emotional, it's just like it's very relatable. If you haven't listened to this album, and I don't know why you would be watching this video, but if you haven't listened to this album, I suggest you go listen to it. Listen to it with some headphones and really dig deep into it, because it's a beautiful album. The next song is Revenge. This was my other favorite song off of this album. I do have an ultimate favorite song on this album. It's definitely coming up in a few songs. But this song right here, it moved me. It moved me in a different way that I have never experienced from any other artist. And I listen to a lot of music, and this song right here really struck me deep. Especially after he died, I listened to it with a whole different mindset. It's beautiful as fuck. And the lyrics here, like I said, the lyrics, they're so deep woven over this country head-knocking kind of beat. It's something you would not expect from a new generation kind of artist. I do want to make this clear. This isn't the first project that I've ever heard from him. Before I started getting into his music, I heard it was a mixtape before that. It's actually on Spotify. I heard Valentine, King, and I Don't Want to Do This Anymore. Those are the songs that pushed me into his music, and then this album really just certified that for me. But this song right here, like I said, you do not expect this kind of music from the new generation rappers. It's so different. It's so pure and raw. It's a talent that you will never ever see again. I don't know. Like I said, now that when I listen to it, I just listen to it in a different headspace, and it's kind of eerie. I love this song. I love this song with all of my being. It's a beautiful song. The next song is called Save Me. And this song right here is my all-time favorite X song of all time. Literally, when it dropped, I listened to it over and for months after it dropped. Like daily, listen to it over and over and over and over again. It's so it has an energy. It really has an energy to it. His hard-hitting voice and his emotional kind of his emotional kind of little things that he would do with his voice. It's so amazing. And this is the song where I was like, okay, I am a stan. If you don't know what a stan is a hardcore fan. There's fans and then there's stans. I was a fan before this album, and I became a stan after, because this song is so relatable, but also very, very personal. Very personal. And this is what I would call a perfect song. The production there really snapped. Like I said, his hard-hitting voice. He had a voice like no other that I have ever heard. A voice that was it was a perfect mix of rock, perfect mix of rock, R&B, and rap. That's what I see in his voice. The song is really short. It's one of the shorter ones on the album, but like I said, it's my favorite song on the album. It was so short, but so much was revealed in that song, and I have a personal connection with that song. I truly do. And like I said, that rock influence was there, and it was hitting hard, and I appreciate that so much. The next song is called Dead Inside. This song really makes me feel helpless. It's another song on this album that makes me feel helpless. It's really sad. It's way too sad. And it really showcased his singing abilities, which, like I said, not many rappers do that nowadays. This is another one of my favorites from this album. It's a really sad song, but I appreciate that. I love sad songs. I love rappers that get deep into their feelings. I love that so much. The next song is called Fuck Love, featuring Trippie Redd. Girl, first of all, fuck Trippie Redd. Fuck Trippie Redd, like for real. This man had so much audacity, way too much audacity, to come for X when he was dead, but also to come for him when he was alive. And then X set everything straight, like, I don't have a problem with you, whatever, like, be positive, be more positive. And this man just still had shit to say. And Trippie Redd had the nerve to say that he put X on, which was not true at all. This is the first time I have ever heard of this man. It was on this song. And I don't like this song. I do want to say that. I like the lyrics to the song, but I do not like the song. I do not like Trippie Redd at all. I do not like his sound. I just don't at all. I don't appreciate him whatsoever. He's worthless. He's a worthless being. But it is one of his biggest hits, so I guess I appreciate that. And it's an emo vibe. I don't think I'm an emo person. I don't think so. But it was an emo vibe, and I know people appreciate that. Carry On. Carry On was another sad but very, very revealing song. It was, I don't know, I really cannot explain it. Like, once you listen to this album and you feel all the emotions that were there, you will definitely understand. And Carry On it's another one of my favorite. And like I said, that voice that was on this song, I can't believe I said that about Dead Inside. Dead Inside is the song where it sounded like he was, I don't know how to explain it. That's another one that was like, well, not another one. That's the song where he was like singing, but it didn't sound like he was in front of the microphone, which was different. It was different, and I loved it. But now we're on Carry On, so let's move on. Carry On, that, like I said, that voice, it was creepy, but at the same time, it had a classic sound to it. And I do want to make this clear, this album is a classic hip-hop album. Classic hip-hop album, period. But like I said, this song was beautiful, but depressing, kind of creepy. Not gonna lie, kind of creepy, but I love that kind of vibe. I really do. Okay, now this is the song, when I reacted to this album, in my head, I was like, whoa, this is sad as fuck. The beat from beginning to end was overwhelmingly sad. That piano really set that song up and carried it. His voice did too. I want to say that it just went so perfectly together. It was so perfect. The way, like, he has a very sad voice. Very sad voice. But he can switch that up too. He doesn't have a sad voice all the time. He can switch it up, but this was one of those songs that was just very sad. But yeah, like I said, but his vocals were really broad on this song specifically, and it really showed me, like, okay, he does more than just rapping and stuff. He's a singer. He's a good singer too. The vibes that he gives me is kind of like Adele, but his are just more depressing because but depressing in a good way. I want to make that clear. Just because something is depressing doesn't mean it's a bad song or a bad vibe. Some things can be beautifully depressing, and that's what this album is. It's beautifully depressing. But that was another one on this album that I replayed like every day. No song was played more than Save Me, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with that. That song is my favorite song in this album. But I also love the when you can really hear it when you listen to it with headphones on. It's kind of like it kind of sounds like beach waves, kind of, and that really, it kind of hypnotized me, and that's what made this song one of my favorites on this album. The next and last song is called Alea, or I never heard him say this word or this name, so I really can't say it. If I'm saying it right, congratulations, but if I'm not, my bad. I think it's Alea, and it's the outro. It tops this album off like a cherry to ice cream. More beautiful, soothing vocals. Genuine. It's a genuine vibe that you just don't get from artists no more. And the piano, like I said with that song, I think it was Orlando, or not Orlando. It was one of those songs. I forget. What the hell? Anyways, the piano and his voice go together so perfectly. That's when people make sad music and it's most likely a piano that's in the background if it's a sad song. If they have that voice, a sad, hard-hitting voice, it is going to be perfect, and that's what this song was. It was perfect. But that's the last song on this album. It was an outro. But like I said, it topped this album off perfectly. This already saddening album with this sad outro. It was perfect. All in all, I want to say this is a classic hip-hop album. It's a classic hip-hop album that was different from the new generation, and that's what made him the Prince of Rap. I want to say that, and I want to make that a broad statement. He is the Prince of Rap. He is one of the only artists, new artists, that was... he came up with the mumble rappers. I don't want to put him in that category of a mumble rapper, because he wasn't a mumble rapper. Because he spits hard on some songs. He spits hard. I don't want to put him in that category, but he came up with those artists. And usually those kind of artists that have one big song, like he had Look at Me, and people were like, that's going to be it. That's his last song. And then he had Jacqueline Flores and Revenge, and then he had Sad. It made it different. It made it different from any other artist, because this album, I think it went #1 on Billboard 200, and also it's platinum. So he wasn't like these other artists that are out here doing tens and thousands of mixtapes and dropping the same song and the same flow every week. He was different. He was different, and different in a good way. And that's what made him the king of rap. Or not the king, the Prince of Rap. But yeah, this album, it's a sad, emotional, raw roller coaster that was given to us by an artist with an unmatchable, unforgettable talent that you will never see from anybody ever again. And he really broadcasted his soulfulness, his rawness, his depressive state, and it really showed in this album, in this beautiful body of work. That album is definitely going to resonate with me for years to come. It's one of my favorite albums still at this time. But I guess I'm going to end this video by saying rest in peace to the Prince of Rap. Gone but never forgotten and forever young. I guess that's it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this album. Let me know your top 5 from this album. Let me know your fave from this album. Let me know if you like this album. Let me know everything you know about this album. But I guess that's it. Make sure you like, subscribe.